Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Spirit Speaker KC podcast. I am psychic medium Jamie Collins, and this evening I am excited to have Karen Goodson here, a numerologist. Numerology has always been one of my favorite things to talk about, and I've known Karen. We've worked at many metaphysical fairs, expos over the years. And so I thought to kind of do a little something different, we would have Karen on talking about numbers. So before we get started, welcome, Karen. Thank you for being here.
My pleasure.
I'm going to read a little bit of Karen's bio about her, and Karen considers herself a grassroots mystic and lifelong student as a clairvoyant, clairsentient, clairaudient, things we've talked about. Empath, her journey began in childhood. She has studied, practiced, and taught many different methods of divination. Her specialty is as a master numerologist with an international following. A bit of an esoteric numerologist, she can see, feel, and hear numbers within your chart like music, a symphony that guides her through your soul contract. So I'm excited to have Karen here. I know we've got lots to talk about. Again, thank you, Karen. One of the things I'm always interested in with people is how they got their start. Go back to childhood a little bit so we kind of get a background. Have you always been kind of woo-woo, or when did this kind of show up in life?
Well, I remember being born into my baby body. So I guess lifelong. As a child, numbers, codes, Dewey Decimal System, Morse code, binary, all the things, like my heart would beat real fast. And I'm like, I should know that. I should know that. I should know what that means. So I was the strange child that hung out in cemeteries and talked to the spirits and talked to the trees and the rocks and the water and the, cool. Wandering around, flying with the birds. So yeah, I've been a strange child my whole life.
Oh, wow. That's cool. Like, I want to backtrack just for a minute. You said you remember being born into your baby body?
Yeah.
No way. Like, really?
Like, really? Yeah. Like floating over, waiting to come into my mama and hearing the doctors tell my dad they had to choose one of us because they didn't know if both of us would make it. And him choosing mama and mama saying no. So anyway, we both made it, but yeah.
Wow. Okay. That's really cool. I've only met one other person. I was working a fair. I can't even remember where it was. And I was speaking to a gentleman, and he said he remembered being born like you. And so I just think that is so cool. So in your childhood, did you try it out with numbers? I know you were kind of always interested.
My sister was 6 years older, is 6 years older than me. And she used to have me do her algebra when I was 9. And I loved it. I thought it was like solving a mystery. Okay. Now in high school, I was like, I strived for mediocrity. I have a high IQ, but I was so introverted when I was young. I didn't want to be called to the front of the class. So I strove for mediocrity, right? I didn't want them to know, who I was. So numbers really, as far as numerology, I studied other things. I was studying astral projection. I was doing astral projection when I was 13, 14, 15, and lucid dreaming and, studying a lot of the metaphysical aspects. Numerology didn't come into play until my late 20s, early 30s, when I had basically been told I was going to die. I had a brain tumor and was going to die, and to get my house in order.
Oh
And
my gosh.
I had 2 years of memory loss, and talked to my guides, and I said, please let me live long enough to see my baby grow up.
Wow.
To do that, this is what you got to do. And obviously it worked. I'm still here. But in the healing process, as I was pulling out of it, about a year and a half after I started pulling out of it, how I entered numerology, basically, I was studying. What was I teaching myself? My best friend and I were working on Hebrew, and we were working on past life regressions together, and just a lot of stuff together, right?
Uh-huh.
My house one day, and she said, you have got to go meet this numerologist. I'm like, I was pretty full of it. I was in my early 30s. I mean, I've been studying this stuff my whole life, right?
Right.
All right. I thought I knew it all. And I'm like, what's he going to tell me? Really? And so she said, I'll pay for it. Come on, you got to go. So she dragged me to the Colorado Psychic Institute. We lived in Colorado at the time. And you know how the bookstores sometimes have readers at them, right? Well, This was a little bookstore, metaphysical bookstore. And we went in the back of the bookstore, and there was a curtain, and it opened, and there was a card table, no tablecloth, card table. There was a skinny little white man with long greasy hair and a cigarette hanging out of his mouth, and a pencil and a yellow tab, right? A tablet. And I crossed my arms, and I thought, I'm not telling him nothing, right? You can have my birthday and my name. That's all I'm going to tell you, right?
Right.
But I sat there and I listened. And when he was done, I felt vulnerable. I felt exposed. I felt seen, but I felt most of all validated. That he saw strengths and abilities in me that I always felt were there, but it didn't step into my power. And that's the day I stepped into my power. It was September of 1987 during the harmonic conversion. I bought my first numerology book, and I haven't looked back. So
Wow.
I consider myself a lifelong student.
Did what he said to you, did it resonate? Did he see you? You know what I mean?
He saw me. He saw the struggles I was going through in my marriage. He saw my health issues. He saw what I call my dragon, which we can get into in a little bit. He saw my power of my numbers and what I had the ability to step into and accomplish in a huge way. And I was so insecure and beaten down. I was kind of one of those. I was married to someone from another country who believed women step 10 steps back, right?
Gotcha.
And so I was very beaten down. And it was the first day that like I said, I took my power back that day. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Awesome. So for our listeners, people are watching this, tell them a little bit about what numerology is. So if folks have never heard about numerology or any of that, can you kind of give us a little bit, you don't have to go too much in depth, the history of numerology? What is it for those who are it's new to them?
In a little nutshell. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
There's over 10 kinds of numerology. I practice the Pythagorean method. A lot of mathematicians call Pythagoras the father of mathematics. Ancient Greece, 2000 plus years ago, had a mystery school. He was a mystic and discovered and taught what I call the divine language. I feel numbers are the language of God. Everything has a resonance. There's nothing in this world you can do without numbers. How old are you? How tall? How much do you weigh? What's your address? What's your phone number? What's your blood pressure?
Right. Okay.
Everything is numbers, and it's layers upon layers upon layers. And so in the numerology that I teach and practice, I feel that numerology gives me a peek at their soul contract. Like, what did they sit around with their soul family and talk about? and want for their soul's growth, because Karen's opinion is we're but DNA within the body of God. We are, and each of us, as we lift up our souls, we lift up our knowingness, we bring it back to the Godhead, to the big energy that we're all a part of. We're not separate, right?
Right,
And
right.
so that resonance, when we understand the resonance within our chart, and our charts can, it are based on your month, day, and year of birth, added and reduced. It's really just adding and reducing to a single number, with the exception of what we call master numbers. They vibrate higher, different pitch, if you will, and your full name at birth. And just those two elements tell me what's your heart's desire, what was your given power, what's your car you're driving through this life, what do you want to accomplish, where do you want to go, what's your ultimate destiny, how do other people see you? It tells me karmic lessons, karmic debt. Some charts have conflicts within them, some have are out of balance because they have too many of a particular number, so it's a lot of psychological aspects they deal with. So I look at all of those things.
Okay. So you're saying that numbers, each number kind of has an energy to it, or a
and a personality.
Huh?
And a personality.
Okay. I've never heard it described like that. I like that.
Yeah, it's like, you think about astrology, you think of what's an Aries or what's a Cancer. You kind of have in your head what that energy is of those signs.
Right.
This is a sister to astrology and tarot. Like they're a triad. They fit together. They partner well together. They're different sides of the Rubik's Cube.
Okay. And so then, based on those numbers, so if you see someone's birth date, you reduce it, you can kind of pick up some information about that person or characteristics about that person.
Correct. I look at, when I'm doing a reading, I look at their actual day, the month, day, year. I look at the actual day. That's what I call an overview. Their chart. It's like a filter. I look at the whole number added. I look at what's called numbers behind the numbers. So if you add everything, and let's say it's a 28, okay, 2 + 8 is 10. So I look at the 28, the 10, and the 1. They all reduce down to 1. Those are all things that I, as a master numerologist, I look at. But generally speaking, I would just say, looking at, when I meet people, I go, oh yeah, they're a 5, or they're, they're a 7. I can kind of tell by their energy and their interaction.
Okay. And I know I've heard of your life path number, your destiny number, I think maybe attitude. What if someone comes to you and they're coming for a reading, what do you have, one that you think is most important? Like, is the life path most important, or does it work with all of the others?
There are 5 very important numbers. They all work together. So if I just did what I call a short read, it would just be their birth path.
What's that?
Their
path.
Life path, birth path.
Okay.
I call it their birth path.
Okay.
Each of them means something different. So like your vowels in your name are what drives your heart. Like what touches your heart? Is it about being in service? Is it about family? What touches your heart? And then your consonants are kind of this mask or this reflection you put out to the world on how other people interact with you or see you. They don't see all the other layers. They interact, for example, at work, how someone would interact with you without knowing the rest of who you are.
Right.
Your destiny is pretty private, but it is our ultimate goal on what we're striving to accomplish in this lifetime. So they're all in my mind, they're all important.
Okay. So you talked about, what are the areas? So there's the life path number. What are some other ones that there are besides the life path or birth path number?
Okay, your vowels are your heart's desire, or I call it your heart's desire or your soul number. Your
Okay.
consonants are your personality number. There's other names for it. I call it personality.
Oh,
And
okay.
then your full name added and reduced is called, I call it your destiny number.
Oh, wow.
We
Wow.
also look at how many times a letter or number shows up in your chart. That tells me karmic lessons, or if it's missing from your chart, it also shows karmic lessons.
Oh, okay. Okay. And what does the destiny number, what does that tell you about someone? So I don't know if you've done your destiny number, but give us an example of a destiny number.
Okay. So remember I told you back when I was in my 30s and what he validated for me. My
Uh,
birth path, I'm a one birth path, but there's different kinds of ones. I'm a 28-10-1 birth path. I'm a 44. I have a master number 44 as a destiny, and that's an
oh,
8. So master numbers are masters of material and wanting to work in a much broader, bigger way for humanity. It's not
oh,
just
okay.
one on one. And at the 8 level, my destiny is about law, order, fairness, justice for all, everybody treated equally, taking a stand for other people that are not taken care of. It's about
Okay.
lifting people up. And
Yeah.
so together, my numbers, and this will be in my book when I get it written, when
Okay.
someone has a 1 and an 8 destiny, either a 1 destiny or an 8, and the other number is 1 or 8 as a birth path, 1 and 8 in a chart, I call it dragon energy because it's very big. It's fire. It's like Aries on steroids. And
Ah,
then there's these sections or these timelines that we look at through life, like your first 36 years minus your birth path. So for me, it would have been birth to 35 was a time period for me. And it wasn't until I was 35 that I stepped into my power when I finished my first big cycle and stepped into the next phase. It's called
ah,
pinnacles and challenges. So I didn't start even working towards my destiny till I was in my second and third pinnacles.
oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay.
So I
Wow.
look at, there's all these layers of the onion that you have.
Right, right. So if someone were getting a reading, would you be looking at all of those different numbers, like the birth path number, the destiny number? You would be looking at those.
I look at those. I look at their relationship.
Hmm.
I look at their personal year, like what's going
Ah,
on this year, because each year has an energy.
okay.
Sometimes we talk about, like I do consulting, like I said, internationally.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes we talk about their home, like what's your home's energy? And we look at that.
Oh,
Maybe we
wow.
need to change the number on your home to bring it more peace if it's too
Ah,
chaotic, or if you're doing business from your home, but you're living in a home where energy is, prosperity is not coming in. So we look at those things. So I look at
wow.
how to name your company, the energy of that, the energy of a new birth, best day to get married. I look at all that stuff.
Right, right. Do you ever just for fun or as a hobby, not a hobby, just for fun, do you ever do like celebrities and their birth dates or anything like that to
I
find out if
do.
they're a match or just to have fun?
I do for fun. I do look at that sometimes. Usually mine's more when, let's say, there is a political race for presidency. I pull out all the candidates. I look at personal years. I look at their birthday,
Ah,
and I
yeah,
can
yeah.
predict where it's going to go based on that. So
Okay.
yeah,
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 that's
I do
fun.
look at that stuff.
I was just curious if you'd ever, like, for example, of course, we're in Kansas City with Taylor Swift and Travis Kelsey. I was just curious if you had ever run their numbers, their birthdays, life paths, or anything
I
like
don't
that.
have their full birth names, both of them, but I have
Ah,
looked at
okay.
their birthdays, and I know Taylor has talked about they're a match because of the 100%. And what she means is he's an 87 and then her birth path, and together they add to 100. So she sees it in a whole different, she's looking at a whole different element of numerology. But I have looked at those and they're very different, but they do balance each other well. Yeah.
That's cool. That's really cool. So what do you get? So I'm a 5 life path. I have done that. So just
how about you give me your birthday and let me do it?
uh,
Oh, you don't want to tell the whole thing. That's fine. What's your day of birth? I need to know your day of birth.
The day, the 7th.
Okay. And then your life path 5?
Yes.
Okay. Are you a 14-5? I'm guessing you are. Another chapter, a whole chapter in my book. The 5 is the most complicated of all the numbers. So
the 5 itself, the number 5 itself.
14-5, but the number 5 birth path is the most complicated human being on this planet. And I've done a lot of writing and a lot of studying on 5s. I actually have 2 kids that are 5s, so I've had a long time to study the 5s.
Okay.
In Europe, can I talk about yours?
Yeah, I'm a 32-5.
You're a 32. You're sure?
Yes. My birth date all adds up to the number 32.
Okay. All right. So you're not a karmic debt 5, but you are a 5. All right. So are you okay with me telling you a little bit about just these 2 numbers?
Yeah, I'd love to. And for our listeners, in case.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your day of birth, the 7, that's your filter. That's like it's like when you open your phone and you have all those little icons on your phone and they each have a program, right? Your 7 is the operating system that makes them all work together. This 7 is this filter that no matter what you do in life, you can't not be it. And of course, the 7 is the mystic. The 7 is the questioner, the detective, the I don't know, skeptic, the one that says it's not real until I've done my own research and I put my stamp on it, right?
Yep.
It is, and you have a conflict in your chart because the 7 is pretty much a loner. It's like I want to step back and watch, and the 5 says, but I need people. So they kind of fight each other sometimes.
That's so true.
Especially in your younger years, pre-age, I think you're over 40, right?
Yeah.
So pre-age 40, 45 is the key time for a 5. But pre-age 45, 5s really strove to be social. And then that 7 energy would have you getting all ready, saying, yeah, I'll be there. And you go to the door and you go, yeah, I just can't. I'm just not feeling it.
That is me. Yeah.
That's cool. The 5, I call it the 5 energy the most complicated for this reason. If you look up online, and I call that the bubblegum wrapper. If you look at the bubblegum wrapper on the internet, it says 5s are the salesman or the jack of all trades. Sure. But you're much more than that. So 5s to me you're like a radio tower and you get information. Like you can walk through a mall and not even listen and pay attention. You're shopping for something, go home, and a month later, somebody brings something up and you go, well, I heard da-da-da-da-da. Don't know where you heard it, but it sticks to you like gum on a shoe. It's like you're a magnet for information. And it's like your mind works in a way differently. Like you can have 4 TVs on different channels and you understand what's going on all 4 of them at the same time because your mind doesn't have an off button. And that's the challenge with the 5s. A lot of times 5s have to watch indulgences because it is all of your senses are highlighted. All 5 of your senses are very highlighted. 5s deal with a different kind of depression than other numbers. All the numbers have different highs and lows. 5s has what I call a mental hamster wheel, where we get on the mental hamster wheel and we overthink. And the overthinking is not about other people. It's like the 5 is a talking thinker, but you don't want people's advice. You just need to process it. When you hear yourself, then you have your own answers, right? It's all those channels you have open all the time. And that's so funny. I'm not surprised you're a medium. And so that 5's hamster wheel is you get on the hamster wheel when you start overthinking, and it's about why did I? Why did I
Mm.
say yes? What was I thinking? Who did I think I was? And I guess I'm going to go back to about 2 years ago when I don't know how many times I kept saying, why aren't you quitting that job? Why aren't you teaching those classes? Why aren't
Yeah.
you? I mean, it's like, and you're like, well, I mean, who am I? Who am I to think that I can do that? That's that five overthinking in me.
Oh,
So
okay.
when you're
Yeah.
confident, you're confident. When you're not, you have to have fives have to have a good friend or a partner, someone in their life that is a cheerleader for them, that does
Mm.
not put a fix it hat on, but says, are you wanting my advice or do you just want me to listen? And
Mm.
you say, I just want you to listen. But you need that kind of a cheerleader that reminds you of who you are when we get down in the mucky guck. Because
Mm.
fives go up and down. But why you're the most special of all the numbers is you have the God chord. You're right in the middle of the numbers. And so
Ah.
you're highly intelligent and equally empathic. And you've got this God cord connected to the heavens and to Gaia all the time. But your mind forgets that. It's like, okay, you know what? You're going to make God laugh, tell him your plans, right? Because you go in and
Right.
out. But when you go back to that breathing and go, oh, I don't have to do this alone. It's through me. It's not of me. And when you
Mhm.
remember that, then you pull yourself back up. So you go up and down that God cord. Does that make sense?
Ah. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Wow, I'd never heard that, but that's really cool. I like the way that you describe that. And that is me to a T, with that birthday and that
Mhm.
5 life path. So that's really cool. Do you teach classes on numerology? If people are interested in numerology, do you ever hold classes and teach?
I do. I have taught some here locally, and then of course at the fairs, I usually do little workshops. I'm actually working with, I can't advertise who it is yet, but I am working with a group that is going to be having a metaphysical school with
Ah,
instructors from all over the country and across the other countries. And they've asked me to do numerology, and I've agreed. And we're rolling
wow,
it out
awesome.
next. Yeah. So I think we're going to be doing some teaser little freebie or little cheap classes next summer. And then next
Okay.
fall, we'll be rolling out the courses. So I am actually writing and working on full on coursework that you can get certified or degreed in. So
Wow,
yeah.
that's really cool. Do you have favorite number? Do you have favorite numbers, or numbers just all this it's music to you? But do you have favorites?
Oh yeah, I have favorites.
Why? Like why do you have favorite numbers? Is it you've always been drawn to that number?
I guess because it's my power number, like the 2810 is my power. So
Uh
2810 is probably one of my favorite numbers. It's like headlights on, it's like brain activated.
uh-huh.
And so yeah, my own numbers, I love 44. It's in my
Okay. Yeah.
address, you
Yeah.
know. Um,
That's
those are usually my favorite, yeah.
okay. Yeah, it was really interesting. One of the things that I discovered before, this was growing up as a kid, that I discovered. I can still remember, Karen, being younger, and I was always drawn to the number 32.
All right.
And I never knew why. I can still remember, as most people who know me, listeners or ever of this podcast, I've always been a sports fan. I'm a sports fanatic, and it's always interesting that my favorite players would be the number 32.
Of course.
And I can still remember being young, and when I first got into football, and my mom was a big football fan, and this was back in the days. I'll let people know how old I am. I'll age myself, but when the Pittsburgh Steelers were in their heyday and the Steel Curtain, and they had a player by the name of Franco Harris, and he was number 32. And that was the very first time I was drawn to the number 32. But as the years go on, I was drawn to the number 32 of athletes. And then when I discovered, metaphysical, and I did my first numerology and found out my life path, my birth date added up to 32. I was like, no way,
Yeah.
no way.
Yeah.
So
That's why mine's my birth path. Do you want to know what your 32 means?
yes, yes.
So the numbers behind your 5, the 3 represents the creative communicator. So you're one that really wants to communicate and talk with other people and stimulate. You like stimulating their creative juices. And the
Mm-hmm.
2 aspect, it kind of has this people pleasing capability, but it's really about wanting to connect the dots. Like this person, hey, have you met this person? It's like wanting to pair them and partner them, and you see where those pieces fit together. So it's exactly what you do. So keep on loving that number. It's a good number.
Yeah. I just think I don't believe in coincidences, but I thought, wow, it was just kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people think there has to be opposites. So there are numbers good. I don't know if you look at good or bad, but are there any numbers that have negative influences or not so good, or their strengths? I don't want to say bad. I don't want to say bad, but
numbers are neutral.
okay.
Now, how they show up in a chart, let's say, for example, in someone's chart, if you had if your birth path was the 5 and your destiny is 7, or it's a bigger one, 7s and 2s. Okay. That's one. They're not bad for each other, but they do this. Let me give you an example. I don't know, young people probably won't relate to the water cooler at the office, but basically you have a break room in the office. Okay. And let's say there's a 2 person who is more the people pleaser and how's everybody doing? And what you doing? They're the talkers, right? And then you have the 7 that's the observer. So they're both in the break room, and the 7 makes the mistake of saying to the 2, hey, how was your weekend? Okay. Hoping to hear fine and yours. Okay. And the 2 tells the soap opera. Oh my God, let me tell you what happened today when my garage door opened. I found out I had a flat tire, and then the dog got out. I had to go, and they tell the soap opera. And so the 7's like looking at their watch going, I got an appointment. I got to out of here. Right. So those 2 in a work environment can be challenging. My last boss that I had when I was retired from healthcare, but wonderful lady, very kind. She was a 2. I'm a 1. And not only am I a 1, I'm a dragon. Okay. When I need something, I'm walking in, I'm handing it to you. I need it signed. I got to get out of here. And I'm like, I have big energy. I had to learn to turn it down, because a 2 needs you to walk in and go, how's your grandkids? How are you doing? Oh, by the way, would you mind signing this? Okay. So, there's this, you have to learn how the energies play with each other, if that makes sense. So some numbers tolerate other numbers better. And if it's in your own chart, you kind of can tick yourself off, because it's like the old Mork and Mindy Exodore. Yes, no, that pull that happens. Right. So yeah, some numbers do conflict with other numbers.
Okay. Yeah, that's a better word. There you go. Thank you. I like that. Conflict with each other. I think what's really interesting about numerology, it's just like seeing a psychic can give you one view or one aspect of what's going on. A tarot reader, card reader may give you something else. But I think sometimes we don't give numerology enough credit about how those numbers can tell a lot about what's going on in your life as well. Just like an astrologist can look at your chart and give you information about what's going on. I think numerology sometimes is underestimated in how much it can impact or affect your life.
Absolutely.
Because I'm sure you're not just using numbers, you're using your intuition.
Right.
psychic abilities as well.
The numbers, think of the numbers, just like tarot. There's symbology on that. When I'm reading tarot, if I don't do that at the fairs, but I know a little bit about all this stuff. And of
Uh-huh.
course, I'm looking at the numbers, I'm looking at the symbology. Those trigger keys that unlock certain aspects within a psychic. The numbers for me do that. So when I'm reading your
Mm.
chart, I call it my musical Rubik's Cube. I'm doing this, and the numbers are unlocking keys that
Ah.
sometimes have me. I'm also clairsentient, the clairsentient.
Uh-huh.
So for me, it's almost like they're a screen and I'm pushing my energy through them, and I'll sit there sometimes and cry, and I have to watch it so I don't freak them out. But I can see
Right.
their past, I can feel their past, I can feel
Oh.
if they were abused or I can feel it before I even see it on the paper. So it's like
Wow.
that, the numbers kind of start opening up those channels, if you will, for me.
Yeah, yeah. That's really, yeah, that's cool. So, wow. That's amazing. I love that. Where can people reach out to you if they do give a reading? So I know you do. People can reach Karen at metaphysical fairs in town, but maybe they want a little bit more in depth. They want a longer session than that is at a fair. How would they reach out to you?
Great.
How do they contact you?
My email, numbers by Karen44@gmail.com, or give me a call. I don't know if you'll put my phone number and that on your site, but either one of those, give me a call. I usually book about 2 weeks out. I've got
Okay.
some traveling I'm doing in December, so I'm kind of off most of December.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, and I do not only Kansas City, but I'm heading this weekend to St. Louis,
Oh.
Collinsville or whatever, Illinois, somewhere like St. Louis,
Somewhere. Yeah, yeah.
Iowa, Dodge City, Kansas, Nashville,
Okay.
so I go
Good.
around a little bit. But yeah, I am international. I do, right now I'm just doing Australia and UK, New Zealand,
Awesome.
Mexico, and Canada. But
Wow. You mentioned a book. Are you writing a book?
I am a
Oh
couple,
my.
but I have one in particular. My guides wanted me to have it done by this last March, and then my husband got sick. And
Uh-huh.
and so I said, okay, it's on hold. But now they're like, okay, next birthday done. So I need to have it done and out of the way before I work on these classes that I'm working on. So yeah.
Okay.
So
And
yeah,
will this be your first book?
this will be my first published book. Yes.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Okay. That's cool. I'm curious as we wrap up. I'm just curious. So, kind of like people always ask me as a psychic medium, like, do I ever meditate and get a sense of what's going on in the world, what's going to happen, what the future predictions? Is that something that numerologists do? You see what's going on with the politics, or not just politics, things going on in the world. Can numbers be predictive? Even though I know you and I maybe aren't real big into predictions, it might be energy, but I think you know what I mean. Can numbers be predictive?
Yes, absolutely. Um, and yes, I do look at all that, and I do meditate, and I do work on a lot of out of body stuff at
Oh
night.
wow.
Right now,
Wow.
my focus is kind of some things that are going on. I don't know. I don't know what you want to type. Three Eye Atlas. Okay, I'll just say Three Eye Atlas. So I'm doing a lot
Uh-huh.
of trying to connect there and see what's going on with that
Uh-huh.
aspect in our the effects on the energy of the planet. So yeah, I do meditate, and I do a lot of other stuff, but numbers are kind of my heart. I don't not see numbers. Everything I do is like, oh, what's, look at that number. I don't know. It's just kind of like how I'm programmed. So
Yeah.
it's like part of my everyday. It's not separate from me. I don't know how else to explain it. It's not.
No, I totally understand. So you've got the clairs, you see numbers. Do you hear them? Like, do numbers to you? Does the 5 have a different sound than the 2, than the 3?
It has a
Do
different tone and a different feel, yes. And
okay.
I recently discovered, because I've been studying numerology for what, 38 years,
Uh-huh.
that I had not read. I actually just picked up, I just ordered Mrs. L. Dow Valiant, okay, this book, which is The Philosophy of Numbers, Their Tones and Colors, was written
Ooh.
in the 1800s.
Oh my
She's the
God.
one that really got numerology out there as a, no longer a pseudoscience, really what it is. She's the first numerologist that I've read anything about that believes, as I do, which is that numbers are color and tone. And so I'm like,
Wow.
yes,
Oh my gosh, from the
I'm not
1800s.
crazy.
Oh my gosh, the 1800s?
1800s. Yeah.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
wow.
So, yeah, numbers feel, for me, it's kind of like uh, tuning forks, how you can feel them in different parts of your body when the
Yeah,
tone goes
yeah.
off. It's that way when I walk up to someone and I feel their energy and I go, oh, that's a 5. It's just because I've done so many thousands of charts. It's like I recognize the tones, if you will.
Right, right,
So
right.
I my energy kind of shifts to ebb and flow based on their tone.
Okay, okay. And a fun question. So numbers, all this experience you've had with numbers, it's never helped you at the horse track, win the lottery. It hasn't helped you there, has it?
I tell you, Jamie, it took me years to be able to be willing to take money for what I do, because I was taught and brought up. Um, I had mystery school experience back when I was very young, like yada yada, that this is
Uh-huh.
a gift from God and this is not to be used in the wrong way. And so
Ah,
for me, I feel like that would be a violation of what I was given. And I
makes
don't,
sense.
it's not for me, it's through me to help other people. It's not
Yeah,
to
yeah.
prosper me. And so, no, I don't do that.
Okay.
Do I buy lottery tickets? Sure. Do I?
Go ahead, buy one, but
But I
you're not
don't.
getting numbers from Karen about it. No, no. How long is a session? Someone reaches out, they want to get a reading, numerology reading. How long is a session?
Usually an hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. You can get a lot of information from
Yeah.
that. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, any last words that you would like to give the folks about numerology? I love it. It's literally one of my favorite things. I tell people this all the time. When you start with classes again, I may have to take a class because
I'd love to have you.
I absolutely love numerology. But
Well, just tell the people to pay attention to the repeat numbers that they see. There's no accidents. It's kind of like their guide's way of, they can't enter, your guides can't interfere without permission. So it's like their guide's way of validating or giving you information that
yeah,
each of those numbers are talking to
I
you.
do.
Telling you something.
Yeah, I totally agree. When you see those repeating numbers, that's Spirit's way of a text message, a hello. I love that. Is that what you tell people when they come to you and they say, Karen, I'm seeing 33 or whatever all the time? Is that what you tell them?
Yeah, we sit down and I'll analyze it for them. What are you seeing? 1, 2, 3, or 11, 11 is a common one.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
especially since we went through COVID, it's gotten really loud. There was a whole activation. I have some YouTube videos I
Oh,
did
okay.
during COVID, and one of them's on
Okay.
the activation of the master numbers. But yeah, we sit down and I'll break it apart and talk to them about what each of these numbers is saying and how you have to add it. It kind of goes in this rhythm. Analyze the
Okay.
first one, then add it to the second one. What's that mean? And it tells you a whole sentence, basically.
Okay. What's your YouTube if people want to see some of
Karen the
these?
numerologist.
Karen, the numerologist.
Hmm.
Okay,
I
YouTube,
think
and
I've
you
got
kind of
3. I think I've got 2 or 3. I don't remember.
okay.
It's been a while, but
Yeah, no, that's cool. Might be some really cool information out there for people. So, Karen, I want to thank you so much
Oh,
for
thank you,
joining
Jean.
me, talking about one of our favorite topics, my favorite topics. And thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Everyone, reach out if you've ever been curious about your life path number, birth chart number. Reach out to Karen. Karen, I don't even know if you remember, but I have had a reading by you. It's been
Long time.
probably,
Five,
yeah, it's been
6
a
years
while
ago.
ago. Yeah,
Long time.
yeah.
I've gotten so much better.
So I'm going to have to reach out again. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you, everyone, for joining Spirit Speaker KC podcast. And I will see you next time.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.